Okay, let's go ahead and open up the doors. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, we are honored to have you joining us as we are providing more information to add to your toolbox so that you, as an empowered individual, can make choices towards a better health journey. Now, this program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com, where we have on our website the replays from our previous shows and also good foods, bad foods lists that people, it really does make a difference what you put in your mouth. So I encourage you to go grab that good foods, bad foods list and start incorporating that into your life today. We also have on our website a way that you can sign up for a newsletter. Each week we are sending out an email that then gives a summary of the previous week's shows, including descriptions, to make it easier for you to be able to find the show with information about the show. So you can just do a search on a specific condition or symptom, pull it up, and then share it with others. Folks, the information that you're hearing on this program is not widely broadcast, but we do it because we completely, wholeheartedly, with confidence, believe in the information and the modalities, if you want to say, that we share on this program, because they actually work. And one of the best things that I love about my job here is to be able to bring people onto the screen with me who have experience, real life experience in certain fields. And like myself, poor health in myself and my family led me on this journey to find where I'm at today. And we have with us Dr. Laura Dennison, who is a naturopathic physician. She is also a master herbalist, a holistic health practitioner. She's certified in iridology, and she's also a certified nutritional consultant. Now, Dr. Laura is just absolutely fantastic, folks. You are in for a treat. She, like myself, really found that, God put some plants, and one man's weed is another man's herbs on this earth for a purpose. And Dr. Laura, as a master herbalist, you went beyond just learning about herbs, but actually started formulating them into product that people can take. And from what I know about you, you had your own health crisis that helped push you into this, and then also things going on in your family. So let's just start there. Share with us a little bit about what got you looking into herbalism, and great results keep us there, and the benefits of nutrition. So everybody, welcome to Daily with Doc, and help me welcome Dr. Laura Dennison.
Thank you, Becca. And yes, okay, so it is exciting because you're talking about a topic that I just thoroughly enjoy. I mean, herbs and medicinal herbs and different extracts that you can get from the herb, whether it's the root, whether it's the leaves, whether it's the whole plant. It's just really interesting what a lot of the different herbs do. But yes, we were I guess it's been since 2000, is whenever my husband got sick. And he got sick with Barrett's esophagus, which is cancer of the throat. And the medical world at that time wanted to tie his stomach up into a P-trap. And if that didn't work, then he was going to be in a feeding bag. And it was just really a bleak outcome looking for Stan. And so we started looking for alternatives. We were introduced, and I believe that God puts the right people in your life at the right time. And that's what happened. And so we got familiar with these products. We ended up buying the company. Stan didn't have to have his stomach tied up into a P-trap. We did things different. We did nutrition. We did, he no longer ate late at night, and we did medicinal herbs, and it just worked for our family. And so I went back to school. I loved my master herbalist course because I was all in on herbal supplements. At that moment when I saw the results happening, we just went back to the drawing board, and we formulated a whole company around our family, like you said, because every product that is in our brand of products was designed around one of our family members. And because you can find results and you can find medicinal that can actually get fantastic results. And so that's where we started. And you talked about God, and I do want to bring in a little bit of biblical, and that's why I love Dr. Wallach. I mean, his heart. I love this company. You can feel the love, and that is one thing that we have that nobody else has, is the love of the people and getting people healthy. And so when we came over, even Steve, we were talking about our label, and we have Genesis 129 on our label. And some people, not Steve, but some people in the corporate part wanted that taken off because they didn't know how people would receive that, and we fought for it. And Steve says, yes, keep that on there. And because a lot of these plants and these herbs, they're very biblical. For instance, aloe. Okay, everybody knows what an aloe plant is. Okay, if you've been into gardening, the benefits of burns and different things like that. But there's more things that aloe does. But it is spoken in the Bible over 7 times. Aloe is. And so when we talk about medicinal herbs, we have to go way back. And that's what's really exciting. That's what really piqued my interest in. And of course, the marriage with Youngevity and Dr. Wallach, understanding the nutrition. And, we can't get these nutrients out of our food anymore. Over 100 years, we could, and we could get, these nutrients, but we can't now. And so we have both things that we get to do, is we get to have these 90 essential nutrients, and then we get to have medicinal products also that can help bridge, a person's illness. It can help to establish a way of getting better. And that's what I love about it.
So Genesis 1. I love it. Genesis 129, I think, is what it is, isn't it?
Yes. And God gave us these plants, and He gave it for goodness, and He gave it for medicinal properties. And when you go read that, Genesis 129, when you go back to the basics and you go back to what God designed us to be and to do, and what to feed our bodies, it's just a great amazing experience when you start to really evaluate that and look at that and understand it.
So, Dr. Laura, what are some of your favorite herbs and why?
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about, I have a lot of favorites, okay, but my life-changing ones that I love is ones that really helps to cleanse the blood, okay? That means that they're a very strong product, a very strong herb. So we look at burdock root. Burdock root is a fantastic herb that you can use the whole plant, okay? And it's antiviral, is antiseptic. Now studies are showing that it really helps to regulate a blood sugar. because here's the thing with herbs is they've been studied for centuries. I mean, we're talking about, 2,000 years, a lot of these. And then, we get into my heritage, which is Native American. And, and you get into all the different remedies and different, then here comes a scientist, okay? And they look at these herbs and they decide to make it into a prescription, okay? And so a lot of our, native plants, like for instance, white willow bark. White willow bark is a constituent for aspirin. Okay, so every prescription starts with a medicinal plant, and then then of course they alter it and it becomes a chemical. But so white willow bark is another one. I mean, it's in our joint formula. I love it. It's also in a lot of different products that Youngevity has because it does a lot of different things. Even helps stomach issues. And so there's a lot of different reasons why the white willow bark is in there as well. But milk thistle. Milk thistle is another one that is a superior ingredient. And when you think about this, over 2,000 years ago, they were, treating it, for the liver. Okay, it was one of those that it was very important. And then about 1986, then they started seeing other different things that it was doing. Of course, one of those is, cirrhosis of the liver, and then it also turns into being antidiuretic and it helps with so many different things. But when we talk about herbs, the most important thing I love about them is how it does have that purification process. And when you can purify the blood, then you're helping your organs, okay, work more functionally and work really a lot better. And so milk thistle, burdock root, dandelion, that's always a fun one to play around with because, everybody talks about it being a weed and a lot of people, come and spray their dandelions. But, dandelions it's a medicinal plant. It's a wonderful blood purification product, ingredient. And you'll see that throughout the Sta-Natural line. So we took a lot of herbs, and and here's the thing: is I don't want people to think that they can just go out and go outside and start collecting herbs and get the same effect as you would as in an herbal supplement, because there's a science to being able to extract the main constituents from that plant. Okay, and then turn it into an extract where you're getting a powerful product. Okay, it's going to work faster. It's not going to take as long. Now, if you're going to do an herbal tea, of course, get in your backyard, and find some of those medicinal plants. I love foraging. I love, the whole art of foraging, especially, in the fall when we have those luscious mushrooms that we get to forage for, because we know the medicinal value of those. But when you look at a product and you see the herbs that goes into that product, each herb is doing something different to also help the power of the product. And so when you look at the Sta-Natural line, I like one of my favorite products is that we formulated was one of the last products that we actually formulated was a product called Stay Clear. It used to be called Stay Acne Free, okay, if you've known it as that, but we had to change it because, sometimes the FDA comes in and sees that maybe that shouldn't be on the label. And so we went to what's called Stay Clear. And it has over 31 different herbals that goes into that. And, but it treats also, I didn't mean to say treat, but it also works being a natural antibiotic. There's so many things that goes into the impurity of the skin. Okay, so I keep that in my medicine chest. Whenever I think one of my grandkids or somebody's about to get sick, I'm giving them a Stay Clear because it works. It's very antiviral. There's lots of herbs that's been studied for centuries. I mean, that's the great thing about an herbal ingredient is the science that goes behind it. I mean, you can look up golden seal. Okay, golden seal is in the Stay Clear, and the first thing that you see, it says it's a natural antibiotic. Okay, well, we all know that we're living in an environment that has had overuse of antibiotics. I mean, it's in our food supply. That's the reason why we talk about how important these 9 essential nutrients are, because we can't get those 9 essential nutrients out of our food. You guys, it has changed. The last 100 years, a lot of things have changed, especially in the food, but also in, being able to have an antibiotic work. Antibiotics was a tremendous discovery. When it was discovered, I mean, they were needing to, treat people in war that had, very, high, whether it was fungal, whether it was viral, whether it was bacterial, we needed antibiotics. It was a tremendous discovery. But the sad thing is the overuse of the antibiotics. Now it's in our food supply and hormones and different things like that. And so when you have a natural one, okay, your body can process it. It works, takes a little bit longer to work, but an herb can help to purify the blood, get rid of bacterial, can be antiviral. And so that's one of my favorites ones right now, the whole product, because there's a lot of different natural antibiotics. It's got the burdock, like I talked about, golden seal, Oregon grape root, which is pretty neat. But it has a lot of different ingredients like that.
As an herbalist, I'm super excited to see your products with the Sta-Natural line. And folks, that's Dr. Laura Dennison brought in the Sta-Natural line into the Youngevity family of products because I was doing formulas, I was making herbal teas, I was doing tinctures and getting those constituents pulled out of the herbs. And then to see that you were already doing it, I'm like, oh, nice. This is one thing I don't have to do anymore. And I can focus on working with the people and getting the information out. And about 8 years ago, I bought a farm up in Washington. And as I'm driving in, or as spring came, because it was winter when I bought it, spring came, I see the milk thistle, and I was like, oh, this is so wonderful. And I see the dandelion, and then the burdock came up, and I'm like, and the horsetail. I'm thinking, oh, I'm in heaven. But then I looked at what was around me and what they were using as sprays and fertilizers. So folks, when you do go foraging, you really need to pay attention to the environment around as well. So I just want to put that little warning out there. But I was just in heaven as an herbalist and having all these wonderful herbs that didn't grow in the desert all around me. And then I get that letter from the county about invasive herbs or invasive plants on my property. I'm like, they're just trying to eliminate what we can use as medicine, was my thought. It's like, you're wanting me to kill off all this medicine that's growing that I can harvest and use for good? So, it's a real fight. And I love the fact that Dr. Dennison, you are continuing to make sure that there are quality formulations available that do work. So my hat's off to you. Thank you for all that you do. I love the hope. I actually used that after doing a consultation with you in regards to a family member and an emergency situation. We got the hope on board, the killer biotic on board, and folks, you use what God gives you. I don't think anything can beat that. So what are your thoughts?
No, and that's what you really have to go back to, how God designed us. And he didn't design us to be on prescriptions for life. And there is a lot of life-saving prescriptions out there, but let's just take blood pressure medication. Okay. There's a lot of things naturally you can do. If you're not going to make any changes, you're going to be dependent on that prescription. But if you start making changes, okay, just like, the first thing is taking the 90 essential nutrients, taking that 90 for life, picking a pack, because, us being able to take care of the deficiencies that your body was craving, that your body was not, functioning. God gave us these nutrients as well. Okay. And he gave us Dr. Wallach. I mean, he did. I mean, it's just incredible that we get, because we can't get it out of nutrition anymore. So then here comes the herbs. Okay, that is, it's just astounding when you dive in to medicinal herbs and you start looking at how they were medicine. I mean, it was medicine. In every country. I mean, in many countries, especially Asian countries, that's all they use is medicinal herbs. And because they do rely on, they have it in their backyard. They get to do that. We don't get to do that, so we have to have different herbal supplements. And here's another great thing that we have with Youngevity is, besides the Sta-Natural brand, which is in capsule, it's in vegetarian capsules, which a lot of our products are vegetarian as well. But we also have the Good Herbs line, which is in tinctures. Okay, so maybe you don't want to do a capsule, maybe you want to do a tincture, and you guys, those tinctures says exactly what the product does. That's what we try to do, is we try to take out the guesswork of what the product is intended to do. Okay, and then we also have the oil division. Okay, you have many even like rosemary and in our oil division is mainly from herbs. And so we have all of this medicinal aspects that we get to add to help people, and that's what we're here to do, is just to help people. And when you start really thinking, and I just love I got several books that that I enjoy, but one of them is Herbs from the Bible, and it's just I could do a whole talk around that. But even like milk thistle we were talking about, and you were talking about because it's a shrubby plant, it's still in Israel. I mean, they still harvest it in Israel, and it's really neat to know a lot of their originality of where they come from. And and I get this question a lot: is it from the United States? No, you guys, we can't have every herb that is important. Like, we have American ginseng that is in our Stay Energized Plus, but we also have Panax ginseng, which is another ginseng that actually Siberian ginseng that works different. Okay, and so we take different ingredients. We wish that we could just have one place that we get them, but we harvest them from all across the world, but we have that certification of that plant, okay, of what we get to put into our product. And that's where you're going to get accuracy on taking the same product every month, helping with different things. And I wanted to throw out one product that I think is amazing, that Youngevity, the Ultimate Daily Classic and the Pro line. You guys, this is such an amazing product, and it has the different nutrients in it, so your vitamins, your minerals. But then here comes the herbs, like the hawthorn berry. Hawthorn berry is another outstanding herb that really helps with cardiovascular health, and it's been studied over and over again. And I love that it's in that product. That's one of my main ingredients I look at is some of the different herbs that works with the different vitamins and minerals, which is amazing.
Well, let's talk a little about that. The synergy of the herbs and how they work with the nutrition, because nutrition does a lot for the body. The herbs, as you mentioned before, the whole plant, using the aerial and the root, or you're using a tincture where you're pulling out those constituents from either the herb or the aerial part or the whole thing, because they have different purposes. And I love the science that goes back thousands of years, folks, not hundreds like allopathic or whatever, but thousands of years as to what they did, and then took those notes as to what the outcome was, and it continued and continued. And then you mentioned the oils, the essential oils, using the esters from those plants and very high concentrations that just take a little bit in the right spot or in the right carrier oil, then to work with the nutrition, not in place of, but work with. So let's do a little bit of deeper dive into how they synergistically work together.
Well, and that's the beauty part, is how the nutrition, okay, these nutrients, which the vitamins and minerals, just vitamin C alone, works, to be a huge cofactor for absorption, okay? And so when you're talking about an herb, you want to take it with, a synergistic product, okay, certain vitamins and minerals, because you're going to make that herb work even better, because they work off of each other. They're cofactors. You'll see in a lot of our products that we have a lot of like zinc or niacin, or we have because they actually pull out more for the herb to actually work, and so they synergistically work together. Like vitamin C, like I said, is super important to help you absorb your nutrients. And so it also helps you to absorb the herbal product. We have a product called Stay Young, and we have we get the vitamin C from different places, like the citrus bioflavonoids and the hesperidine complex. Those ingredients are fantastic on their own, but those two ingredients helps the grapeseed extract and the pycnogenol and the astaxanthin to actually work better. So when you see a formulation, we're just not throwing everything in, plus the kitchen sink. Every ingredient that goes into a product is working for a purpose, and is also helping it to work even better. Okay, and so that's, like I said, those two natural vitamin C's, the reason why they're in that Stay Young product, besides it being, outstanding ingredients on their own, but it helps the herbs to work synergistically more powerful together.
Yeah, and so many people that you see out, whether it's on TV or podcasts or infomercials, they're talking about individual ingredients. And I remember being one of those people. It's like, oh, that sounds like an amazing ingredient or nutrient or whatever it was, going and getting it, taking it, hoping for the outcome that they were promoting, and not even a placebo effect. It's like, come on, they told me this is what was going to help me, and it didn't. But when I started looking into the herbs and how they synergistically work together, and then putting them with the nutrition.
Yes, it is mind blowing whenever you really think of what we have. I mean, it really is. And okay, so I'm going to tell you one example is that people, got on that glucosamine bandwagon. Okay, so they went to Walmart and they bought the glucosamine, and they didn't have any, it didn't help their joints. They didn't have that glucosamine has to be with chondroitin. It has to have other ingredients to make it work. And so, just taking glucosamine on itself, people were like, no, I'm not going to try your Stay Restored, because that happens to be our joint product. I'm not going to take that because, I know it's not going to work because I've already tried glucosamine. When we came out with that back in, I think it was 2003, okay, because that was one of our first ones that we came out with after we bought the company. We almost had to talk people into trying it. We were giving away samples because we knew that, because at that time, glucosamine was such a fad ingredient, for joints. And they were jumping out there to Walmart and GNC, wherever they could grab it. And they were just taking that, and they said, it didn't work for me. They would get on a product that had more herbs, more synergistic effect, and they were getting results within 3 to 4 days. It was incredible. And so that's just a prime example that there's an art to what we put in these products, and each one of them have a purpose. It's just like the 90 essential nutrients. Can you get by with 89? No, we have 90 essential nutrients, and each one of them have a purpose. Each one of them. And so it's just incredible when you start thinking, because we get hit with that all the time. Fat ingredients. Another one is astaxanthin. If you take it by itself, you're not going to get the results. You got to take it with other cofactors that's going to help it work.
Yeah, and that the cofactors, when you think about it, you know, you're looking at enriched foods. What have they done? They've taken those individual nutrients out of what was already great because those cofactors were there. But it makes it
Absolutely.
sound good. They enrich with A, enrich with D, enrich with, you know, goes on and on and on. But that synergy, and then taking the synergy of the herbs and of the whole foods and the nutrition that Youngevity has put into their 90 essential nutrients, and then marrying them together, folks, you're missing out if you have not tried a protocol specific to one, health. Whether you're wanting to maintain health, obtain health, it starts with the 90 essential nutrients. You can't just, you know, throw something for a headache and expect the whole body to be better type thing. So I absolutely love the fact that we were able to incorporate the herbs in as well, because you can't go wrong with the original medicine cabinet.
Absolutely. You know, and Janae Anderson, we were talking yesterday. I just want to add one thing, because here's what happens in the herbal industry. You see one herb, okay, like milk thistle, and so a person goes and tries to buy that, and they're not going to get the results that they should. What we've done, and in the good herbs line, what they've done as well, and even in the essential oil division, is we tried to label it so the person would know what the product's going to do. Okay, for instance, eat less. Okay, you know, that's pretty explanatory what's going to happen with that product. Okay, we didn't say that it had X amount of, you know, we didn't put the actual herb on the label. We tried to describe it as, so then for the average person, they would understand what that product's going to do. And even though it has, you know, 20 other ingredients that goes into that, you know, product, like glucomannan, I mean, that's an amazing you know, product to make you feel full. You know, and so with our brand and with the good herbs, you know, just look at the label. That should tell you, you know, the name of the product should tell you what that product's designed to do.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned eat less. There's also stay thin.
Stay young. Stay young.
Stay vital. Stay balanced, which helps with the whole hormonal functions of both men and women. Stay restored, the bone and joint that you've mentioned a few times. The stay clear, which I didn't know. You know, what I knew stay clear used to be, you know, stay acne free, and that it worked with the skin. But then when I think about it and looking and, you know, reviewing in my mind the herbs that you put into it, it's like, yeah, they're antiviral, antifungal, all these different things. And then you were saying how, you know, starts getting sick, you start giving them stay clear. It's like, yeah, let's just stay clear of all those cruddy things.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing that I will be adding to my toolbox when it comes to, you know, the whole feel something coming on, and let's just stay clear of it. I love that. Awesome. Well, we do have some hands up, so let's go ahead and go to questions. And the first question that we're going to be going to Dr. Laura is Phyllis. So Phyllis, how are you today?
I am just right. And I actually have two questions. And I must say, this is so fascinating. I think I speak for everybody. I could listen to this for hours. You need to come back and do a whole series on this, just on herbs. First question, a lot of us as health coaches are working with people who are taking blood thinners, pharmaceuticals. And the heart doctors are telling them not to take any non-steroidal anti-inflammatory ingredients called NSAIDs, like aspirin or ibuprofen. Now, and I also know there's a difference between the older blood thinners and the new generation. I won't say the name, but one of them starts with a letter E. It's a very modern and recent blood thinner that interacts differently than the older ones. So with Youngevity's products that have, say, white willow bark, or even something like ginseng, can those people on those medications take those products?
Okay, so it's a whole different wide range, okay, and normally they will send a list, because the one that I work with a lot of clients that also takes that product, and it is a better blood thinner, and they are trying to get better at doing that. People, when people are dealing with blood clots and they need to keep their blood thin, okay? Becca Dukes and I were talking at the Houston event, and we were talking about mainly turmeric, okay? Because turmeric gets a bad rap whenever it comes to being anti-inflammatory and how it goes and helps, the body, okay? And he was talking about, he goes, and he's a pharmacist, okay? So, it's golden what he said. When you're taking nutrients, okay, your nutrients are being absorbed in the body different than a prescription, okay? So with that prescription, okay, that blood thinner, the nutrients isn't going to thin the blood any more than what the body was needing it to work with, okay? So what he was telling me, because turmeric is the biggest one that I get a lot of questions on. White willow bark in the Stay Restored, there's no, if you were taking just straight white willow bark in high mega doses, okay, it might be something that you might need to be concerned about. Well, when you're talking about a formulation like what's in the Sta-Natural line, okay, it's not going to thin the blood any more than what the prescription is doing, okay? So what I always suggest to tell people, because I never want to guide them in a different way, because when they're restricted to like foods, which I know the E, you're not, okay? You can still eat broccoli and with Coumadin and warfarin, they would actually restrict you from eating food, okay? That's the one that you need to be most concerned with. With the other ones, okay, when you're not restricted with food, we're talking about 9 essential nutrients, okay? That's what we get, from our food, okay? And so that should be a big concern. But when you go deep into other types of ingredients like turmeric, if you're taking mega doses, you would probably want to probably back that down. But there's no ingredient that's in the herbals that has mega doses of any one ingredient, okay? So for instance, like the Z-Radical, which is a fantastic product. That's why we were talking about it at Houston, because it does have turmeric in it. And his answer was is that it's not going to thin the blood any more than that prescription is actually doing. It's actually going to help the body. So it's the herbs and the vitamins and minerals are working with the body. They're working with the blood. Okay, they're not going to cause it to be less or more of what the body is required and what the body needs at that moment.
Wow,
that's a good, because it is something that, but and they get a list of, when they get that prescription, they get a list of things to stay away from, like ginkgo, but that's if you were taking mega doses. When you're taking a formulation, you're not taking a mega dose of any one ingredient. Okay.
that is great information. So what I hear you saying is that in the context of the products with the smaller doses, not isolated, and also with their adaptogenic properties, where they are balancing with what the body needs, not giving the body more than it needs, they are okay with taking those products.
Absolutely.
That
you said the correct term. They're adaptogenic, okay? So they're adaptogens, okay? And that is, it's not going to create, it to be more or less than what the prescription's already doing. It's just going to help and aid in the body. Sure.
And that is contrary to how the prescriptions work, by the way. They just kind of bombard your system with what they have.
Absolutely.
My second question was taking herbs, say on a daily basis. I think some of us have heard that you should only take herbs on a shorter term. If we want to take a product every day, is that an issue?
Oh, it's not. Now there is some herbs that that are very potent and strong that I wouldn't probably want to take on an everyday basis, and that would be like St. John's wort. Okay, that's very mind altering. Okay, and so that is, but if it's in a minute amount, because we do have some products, I think in the Hemp FX line that does have the St. John's wort, but you know, there's just certain ones you just don't want to take on a daily basis, and there's only a couple. And St. John's wort is one, the valerian root, but what you see in our products, because valerian is in the de-stress, which that's a beautiful product, you guys, the de-stress. You know, you can take that every single day. I take my herbal supplements every single day, and I've done it for over, you know, we're up to 25 years, okay? Because I know what it's doing for my body. And knock on wood, I mean, you know, just like the 90 essential nutrients, you take it every single day. I mean, you're now, can you increase the dose of an herbal product? Absolutely. Like say a person is fighting a certain ailment and they need quick action, okay? An herb can be therapeutically increased 4 times, okay? So when you're looking at either the good herbs or you're looking at, like for instance, our Hope product, normal dose is 1-3 times a day, okay? And that's purifying the blood. If you have a serious ailment, you need to take 2 or 3 bottles a month, okay? You need to double, triple, you know, quadruple that problem. Then when you fix that problem and that problem is no longer a medical issue, then back it down to 1-3 times a day. Do not quit the product. I've had, you know, several people that get well, and you know, and we're talking about seriously ill, okay? And you know, they have a clean bill of health and they quit taking the product, and then guess what, 6 months later it's back, okay? And so the herbs do in the body, you know, it's always, you know, working medicinally, okay? Even if you don't have that issue going on, you're still giving the body, just like the 90 essential nutrients, you're giving the body, you know, things that it needs to help to withstand from being sick, okay? And so that's my answer to that.
And my understanding with the good herbs, and I'm sure with the products that you have formulated, we've been told that those can be taken on a regular basis and in large amounts because it includes the cofactors, the various parts of the plant. It's not isolated as one single active ingredient.
Absolutely. You are so correct. You guys are beautiful products. It's, you know, I look at, and I mean, you know, mine are, you know, in capsules, okay, and the good herbs, and you could take those together, because not any of those, it's really interesting, none of them are overlapping on a lot of the different herbs that we've used. I mean, and it's really interesting whenever you look at both of those products and you start looking at the labels and seeing that, oh wow, I'm getting the Stay Balanced over here for hormone health, and then you look at the female one and there's only one lapping ingredient, okay? So yeah, I want the benefits of both, especially when it comes to hormones, and so it's pretty neat.
Well, that speaks to the great variety we have in the Youngevity product line. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Phyllis. Great questions. We have a question also, Dr. Laura, from AJ, who is asking, what do herbs need to grow? And do they need to be in soil that has particular minerals?
Okay, so herbs, you know, a lot of them come from the Amazon rainforest. I mean, to be honest, I mean, you know, so, you know, that is like the pristine area that you would get the herb or the plant. And they have to be in an environment just like Becca was talking about. When you go in your backyard or you go pick your dandelions, you're not getting the same purity of product that's actually going to work, okay? And so when you talk about the minerals, most of these come from different countries that haven't destroyed, you know, it's not, you don't go out to an echinacea farm, okay? You're getting it from, you know, actual places that they can harvest it pure, okay? And so, you know, and it just depends. You know, sometimes the color of our product changes because like there could have been a typhoon in an area where we were getting, you know, a certain herb, and we have to go and get it from somewhere else, but the extraction has to be the same and the purity of that herb has to be the same so it can function. That's the reason why you can, like with the Sta-Natural line, because I did have a question on the Stay Balanced, the new shipment of Stay Balanced, it's a little bit darker. Well, we had harvest from a different area, so the color of the herb is going to change up a little bit, and it's because of the timing and the harvest and where we have to go to get that, to get the same functionality and the same constituents from that actual product. So, you know, I would live in the Amazon rainforest probably. I mean, because I think it is so cool. And, you know, as far as being able to get those ingredients from there.
And then the next, what are some of the herbs from the Bible?
Okay, some of the herbs, of course, I said aloe, okay, milk thistle. Here's a little book from James A. Duke, okay, he's a physician, but herbs of the Bible. You know, frankincense, myrrh, you know, when we think about, and we're coming up on Christmas, and I just get all giddy on this kind of stuff, but when we think about the three wise men and when they were actually bringing, you know, when the birth of Jesus happened and they were bringing frankincense and myrrh, you know, we think about that as, you know, they took the best that there was at the time. And that was the best, the frankincense, the myrrh, and the gold. And they were bringing their best, you know, to honor, you know, Jesus. And so, you know, frankincense and myrrh, of course, you know, yarrow, you know, is another one that is spoken in the Bible. Aloe, like I said, over 7 times you see that. Milk thistle. And you know, when they talk about, you know, not the burning bush, but, you know, milk thistle along those lines, they, you know, credit it, you know, milk thistle, you know, the burning bush. So a shrub, a bush, you know, they were considering that to be the milk thistle. So those are just some examples that's in the Bible that I just think are just, and, you know, I am a strong Christian, and I believe that we've been given, you know, these gifts ourselves. You know, when we think about, you know, Dr. Wallach, and I mean, I just, you know, think about his whole life he dedicated for us, you know, with these nutrients, and what would we be like without them? Well, I know what we'd be not very well, okay? And then these herbs that we get to marry with it, it's just beautiful. So
I think holy basil.
holy
Bible.
basil, yes.
Yeah.
I'll
And yeah, so there's
myrtle, nettle, olive, you know, and you know, and you guys, the Good Herbs line. Okay, so we have olive leaf in our Hope product, okay, because that's a huge, amazing nutrient, okay, but we have the olive leaf support, the olive product just by itself. It's that good, that it's antibacterial, you know, fungal, and that's in the Good Herbs line. That's a beautiful product to also have in your medicine chest, you know, for
yeah.
you.
I have that one in my medicine. And the frankincense. I keep frankincense in my car, in my purse, in my medicine cabinet. It has so many wide uses, especially when I have kiddos that have a very, is it a histamine response to insect bites? It's incredible.
Beautiful.
Just a little bit, you can put it right on, a little bit. It takes that inflammation out. It takes the burning out, even just the mosquito bites, folks. It's crazy. We have another hand up, and Ruth Ellen. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Rebecca. Nice to see you, Dr. Laura. I always love when you're on the show. So we have a question from Joe Smith on YouTube. And he says, what is a good herb to take to help your gut biome?
Okay, so with the gut biome, okay, there's a lot of different herbs that helps with it. You know, even MSM actually helps with gut health, but I tend to not go through herbs to actually, I mean, you know, peppermint is good, you know, as far as nausea. You know, herbs are gonna be instant to help with what gut problem a person has. Like the Eat Less product is formulated to also help as a colon cleanser. It also has digestive enzymes in the product. But for gut health, you have to almost go more towards probiotics and ultimate enzymes. You know, enzymes activity is really important. And so it just depends on what part of the gut health that a person has trouble with. Like, you know, the reason why we started a company was because Stan had acid reflux, you know, that had gotten so bad that he couldn't even drink water. It would go on both sides of his mouth. And, you know, and that's when it started, you know, and when we were in that office that day, and I can remember being there, and I said, "Oh, Stan, we got to do this." And he's like, "No, that does not sound fun at all. We're going to figure out something different." But the product was Eat Less. You guys, it settled the acid. We did other things. You know, there's just not one fix, you guys. It's just like you can't out supplement a bad diet. Okay. If your diet's not good, guess what? The 90 essential nutrients aren't going to work that great. Okay. I mean, it's going to work a little bit. It's going to be better than not taking them. But same thing with herbs, you know, we had to make some changes, but the herbs was helping him to not have that acid. So the Eat Less worked very well for that. So, you know, but as far as a digestive aid, you know, besides the herbs, you got to lean towards probiotics, the microbiome, you know, that we have, which is beautiful. You know, the reishi mushrooms, all the mushrooms that's in there really helps with that as well, but also enzymes. You know, enzymes is super important.
Thank you very much. And Enzo on Facebook says, another great live from Becca and Co. Thank you, Enzo.
Thank you, thank you. So I love that, and I'm glad we're getting a lot of great accolades, kind words, everything here in the Zoom room, also out on YouTube, and I don't get to see everything as we're going through, but you know, this is why we do this, folks. We love people. We love being able to bring empowering information to you where you're at, so that you can then make these decisions as to, and take a scan of your body. Think about it. Close your eyes. What do you feel going on within your body? Well, chances are you've got some nutritional deficiencies that, starting on the 90 essential nutrients, are going to give great benefit for. And then those things, if you've already started down a journey of poor health, incorporating in some of the herbs that Dr. Laura and I are talking about, mentioning today, into your daily life. I don't want to say daily protocol, daily diet, daily life. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of choosing that you want to be healthy, instead of laissez-faire. Oh, what may be, may be. Folks, you don't have to live like that, especially if you want to live long, a life that is prosperous and vibrant physically. That's what I want to do. Because I remember 8 years ago, I couldn't do anything with my hair. It had this annoying wave with all my calyx and everything. And now with the nutrition, it's like, okay, where are the curls going to go today? And no, it's not a perm. And no, I don't use a whole lot of hair product trying to encourage it to curl. So it's just, it shows that when you give your body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things to be as vibrant and full of life as it possibly can be. So, oh, AJ says it's a natural perm. Okay, thanks, AJ. Well, Dr. Laura, we're coming up to the end of our program, and Joe just asked a question. Oh, what is that herbal mosquito bite topical you guys are mentioning? And that is the frankincense essential oil. And I love the fact that Youngevity also has it in a roller bottle that is in a carrier oil, so it makes it last longer. And that's one of the things that I carry in my purse is the roller bottle. You can just roll it on, and it's with lavender, so it smells better than just frankincense. So you don't go around smelling, too medicinal. And we have another hand that is up. AJ.
Thank you, Dr. Dennison, for being with us. Rafiwa asks, what herbs help with constipation and what helps with gut detox? I know you kind of went over that, but just wanted to clarify.
Okay, and see, that's more specific because there's certain herbs that do certain functions. And just like in the Eat Less, okay, you have, the Cinia leaf, okay, you have also, which is it's a good colon scrub, okay, and it's something, because here's the thing about, and I had a lady the other day, and I couldn't get through, but her son takes Miralax every day, and the doctor said it was okay for, and he's 16 and he had constipation. Constipation is where your system is breaking down, okay. Constipation can make you very sick. So we have to get those bowels normalized. We have to get them regulated. And so there's different formulations. The Eat Less is a beautiful product for that. Okay. It has more than just the Cinia leaf. Now, the True Detox Tea is a product that we have that is going to do a faster clean out. Okay. But you cannot, that one is pretty strong, and you don't want to take that forever, okay, every day. That is a product that is just to detox, okay, because if you took it every day, then you are detoxing too much, and you're going to hurt your body in a way that you just can't take that every single day. The Eat Less you can, okay, and it's an herbal formula that is, besides helping you lose weight, it also works on colon health. So if you're not needing to lose weight, just take it with your food. But make sure that you're taking it with a good glass of water, okay. And we know with Dr. Wallach, don't drink water when you eat, but after, make sure that you're taking the Eat Less. It's really going to help with chronic constipation. I don't know if Jeanette's on here, but Jeanette Anderson, she brought over the Nature's Direct line, okay, and she's got one of the best testimonies from the Eat Less, because she traveled from Australia and she did a meeting for us in Oklahoma. And she goes, Laura, what am I going to do? I'm just constipated. And I said, you take this tonight, okay, and you talk to me in the morning. She came and hugged me, and she goes, how can we get this in Australia? I got to have this product. I can't live without the product. And so it's just a great product, but it's a daily scrub, okay? It doesn't create diarrhea or constipation. It's just giving you a good, healthy bowel movement. And that's what you need to do if you have constipation.
All right. Thank you, AJ, for bringing that question to us from all the way in South Africa. So that is where Rafiwa is joining us from. And hey, we're up around the world, folks. If you know anybody, and it doesn't matter where they're at, if they've got internet connection and you can share this program with them, any of our programs, please share information that helps people make better choices. If you were invited to this program by somebody specific, please make sure that you get back with them. We are a resource for an amazing community of health-minded people, and they don't have to have degrees or an alphabet soup behind their name. Folks, you also can be a health advocate for yourself, for your family, your community, and we invite you to join us in this endeavor in making a healthier world. Again, get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there is no one to thank, you can go to dailywithdoc.com. or reach out to myself, Becca, at dailywithdoc.com, and submit your questions and let us know where you're calling from, especially if you're out watching one of our live streams. You can make your comments. Make sure that you're following Critical Health News on YouTube and Rumble and Patreon, and also look for Daily with Doc. You'll find Daily with Doc with the hashtag, and just plug in for yourself, for your family, and together we will make healthier world, folks. Dr. Laura Dennison, thank you again for joining us. I look forward to our next time that you join us. And you had mentioned Jeanette. Jeanette Anderson will be joining us first or second week of December. She will be plugging in from Australia, and I'm so excited to be able to bring the Nature Direct products more light, because they are so fantastic when helping to create a less toxic environment for all of us. And using herbs like we've been talking about in extracts into our cleaning formulas that use those natural antibacterial, antiviral properties within the herbs to help keep things clean. It's like I have the revitalizer. Where is it at? Right there. I have that, the revitalizer back there that I just absolutely love. We've got different formulas that go in that to help clean the air. So it's absolutely fantastic. I just want to say thank you to my team as well, as we, okay, I could not do this alone. I absolutely could not do this alone. And when you get a great team together, folks, you get great results that are helping a much broader world. I'm speechless about it. Okay, so if you have, and if I could get my team on the screen with me, I'd greatly appreciate that. Dr. Laura, you're fantastic. You're awesome. And as a brand ambassador within Youngevity, donating your time because of your love for the products and people, that's another thing that I love about this company. And like you mentioned, like no other, we can freely love on each other. We can freely give God the credit and freely say thank you, whether it's to individuals or to God above. And Dr. Wallach, he saved my life. And I think that's why a lot of us are here, is because he has done so much in helping us create the journeys that we have today. And Dr. Wallach, we miss you. So we hope that you will come back with us. I'm not going to say hope, because I know he's going to be back. And we are looking forward to having Dr. Wallach back with us later in December, and then into January, and even the next year and the next year and the next year, because he keeps telling me sometimes it's 200 years, sometimes it's 400 years, sometimes it's 600 years, folks. This man has the desire to keep on plugging on and keeping the legacy going. I want to do a special shout out to my team here, as they are dedicating their time, their talents to help. We've got Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who is my right hand, my production manager, and helping to keep everybody organized, and also helping me in scheduling our guests. So thank you, Ruth Ellen. We have Sherry Browning, who is learning to do all of the technical side of it as well, so that she can step in whenever needed. And that's one thing I love about, having a team. When there's a need, people step up. So thank you, Sherry, for being willing to do that. And we have Phyllis, who is helping us keep track of all of the questions that are going on throughout all the different platforms, and also here in the room. We have Marilyn, who is using her fingers to do dictation here in the live Zoom. So, and that's one of the biggest benefits advantages of being here live with us is being able to see in text what is being said, because sometimes we talk a little fast. Well, she types really fast, so that helps you be able to catch it as she is repeating what we say here in the chat. And dailywithdoczoom.com is how you can join us. If you go Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, go to dailywithdoczoom.com. If we're having a show, it will say, yes, live Zoom today. If we're not, then I put up a little thing that says no show, but we invite you to go and catch one of our replays from our different channels. And we have AJ, who is responsible for helping us get on so many different channels and platforms. And I'm excited for the next adventure that we are working on that also includes our very own TV channel, folks. So if you are a Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, we will be there on your TV. I'm hoping by the end of the year. I say December 1st. They tell me I'm being a little unrealistic, but hey, let's go for it. And then we also have Albert, who is joining us from South Africa with his striped little buddy behind him. And he is helping to let people in the room and keep an eye on the chat and also on the cameras. So folks, if you have a talent, whether it's graphic design, production, clerical, just loving people, love to talk to people, and you would like to be part of a team, make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's no one to thank, reach out to us at dailywithdoc.com or Becca at dailywithdoc.com. Until next time, bye for now. Oh, and don't forget, Fridays, we have Fridays with Pharmacist Ben. So we look forward to seeing you on Fridays. Bye for now.